Tavares here, and she always gets a large number of hits on her shows. We're dealing with an ongoing and immediate catastrophe. In Northern California, they're burning up people. Hundreds and hundreds of acres are on fire. I think the number of fires that's recently occurring is like 12. And some of them just spontaneously exploding with the lowest humidity that's been seen in ages. And, of course, we know that the smart grid power system is driving it. Now, last week I spent quite a bit of time because Deborah couldn't stay the whole hour. So I'll refer people to last week's show where I explained the technology behind fire starters and these maniacs that are behind it. Deborah, you've got lots of stuff to talk about. You have the videos you posted up that you have a lot of hits already. Tell us about these videos.
Well, I do.
If you go to stopthecrime.net, they can open up your YouTube channel and see a bunch of mind-blowing videos.
Yeah, there's a few things that I do want to talk about right now. Of course, today being Monday, it is November the 4th of 2019. I want to go over some of the stats of the ongoing Kincaid fire here in Northern California that started at the geothermal plant in the geysers back on October. It's been going for about a week and a half. It started on October 23rd.
Right.
And to date, right now, it's burned 77,758 acres. It's 65% contained as of a couple of days ago, so it may be further containment now. I know some of the roads are still blocked up in that area while they're still putting out hot spots. There are over 349 total structures that have been reported destroyed. And I want to just read to you what we have faced here in Northern California with the massive, fearful PSYOPs campaign as they hit us with directed energy weapons. First, I want to read what has occurred and what has been admitted to. Dr. Bill, we had about a third of the cell phone towers failed during the power shutdowns here.
Right.
And that's enormous because also the CAL FIRE has been eliminating the repeaters for the ham radios. Our communication is being shut down. I want to talk about what the front page of the San Francisco Chronicle said. Now, this was back on October 13th, that we're powerless to stop PG&E's shutoffs, and we are, because PG&E runs the state utility completely. Even San Diego Gas and Electric is Rothschild, as you so well know.
Right.
Another front page article of our paper here locally, the Press Democrat, dated October 30th, just a few days ago, said, headlines, preparing for battle to guard Santa Rosa. So keeping in mind that we're about 60 miles north of the Golden Gate Bridge, we're located here in Sonoma County, and Santa Rosa burned about 5,300 homes back on October 8th and 9th of 2017. What started with the blackouts was psychological warfare by Pacific Gas and Electric. The first series of blackouts were 2 years to the day where PG&E shut the power off here. So the fires were October 8th and 9th of 2017. The first series of blackouts started October 8th and 9th of 2019. There was a few days in between the fires starting, another red flag fire warning, which they tell us is a consequence of three situations: low humidity, gusty winds, and heat. Well, I can tell you what is always unspoken is that we are heavily chemtrailed.
Right.
Now, I also want to say...
It isn't just chemtrails at the lower level. It's high-altitude nanoparticle, thorium, strontium, barium, aluminum, and direct energy weapons both from space and drones. In fact, it's not just drones taking pictures. It's drones actually using green lasers and so on to set fires. And one of my military people were up there last year, and there were so many drones in the air they couldn't even bring helicopters to drop fire retardant. It's nuts, isn't it?
Well, we have to talk about what's behind the smoke and the fires and what's lurching in the dark for each and every single one of us. There's many things to talk about on the program today, but I'm going to cover a few items that I think are important.
Right.
Whether you're hit by a weather system that is technology-driven, which they are, you will likely experience, sadly, your insurance being not renewed. I'm seeing from all over the country, this is not just now in California, where fire insurance is not being renewed. We're seeing this now occurring in the Gulf Coast states after the Gulf Coast hurricanes, where people are no longer able to get insurance. They can't sell their homes. They can't move off the coast. And many homes have been up for sale for a few years, and they're still not able to sell. We have Rothschild controlling the weather weapons. We have Rothschild and the bankers controlling all the utilities worldwide, including the global smart meter grid and the global smart meter water meter grid as well, and also all the insurance companies. So I'm going to go over a little bit of the insurance situation because Allstate now has just announced for a number of its clients that it will not be extending coverage here in Northern California. So on top of that, we're finding that there are many exclusions now out of current coverages. I've mentioned this before, but I have noticed disclosures in insurance documents that eliminate any coverage for terrorism. And, of course, this is terrorism, that we are being hit with a corporate government agency system that is destroying the United States of America and other countries throughout the world. You have to think about the fact that terrorism insurance coverage is actually really weather weapons. And we've talked about that before. There's also an exclusion as of late in the state farm coverage that eliminates any coverage for water leaks or anything that would be that was previously a covered building to repair damage to a system from where water or other liquid material escaped. So as they are now hitting us with weather weapons, the use of frequencies are also they're really causing problems with the structural integrity of our plumbing in our buildings, along with the fluoride in many areas where that has caused deterioration of the plumbing. So now, because they know that these systems have been in place, are in place, and leaks are now being caused, there are new companies sprouting up, leak detection companies, where they can track some of the small, tiny holes that might be under your concrete driveway or under your concrete slab, under your garage, or in your ceiling where the water lines run. The bottom line is these intentional attacks, albeit fire, floods, plumbing, etc., are now not being covered by insurance. So whether you are hit directly or not, we are all going to start facing the inability to have coverage for our properties. I want to talk about what, again, I mentioned at the start of the show, what's behind the smoke, and we're going to really talk about that because I was noticing as I was driving around yesterday here in Sonoma County with some of the air particulates from these fires still in the air, lots of stores that had signs saying that they had to close. They were barely back up on their feet from the 2017 devastation and massive loss of populations. And now with these power outages and the Kincaid fire, they just have not been able to stay in business. And I'm seeing that now across the board. And there's a lot to say, Dr. Bill, about more, but I want to go on into why this is all happening and what we're going to start to see. And what we have and what has been approved in your towns too, and this is utterly important. I'm looking at right now a County of Sonoma, State of California, resolution that was adopted on May 8th of 2018. And this is in my most current YouTube that has now just posted on stopthecrime.net about fire and power outages. But I'm going to go through this right now because everybody needs to hear the reality of our reality. Here's what your cities everywhere have approved and what they are following, and this is why we're being burned out, blown out, flooded out, insurance policies dropped, because all for the sake of bringing down the greenhouse gas emissions through the false illusion of being able to stop climate change. So let me read some of this resolution again. The County of Sonoma, State of California, dated May 8th, 2018. Resolution of the Board of Supervisors of Sonoma County, State of California, reaffirming its intent to reduce greenhouse gas emissions as part of a coordinated effort through the County Regional Climate Protection Agency and to adopt local implementation measures as worldwide. So let's go over some of the things that are being done right now, and you can see that is being done with weather weapons and fires and smoke and forced evacuations, keeping in mind that just a week ago there were nearly 200,000 people evacuated out of Sonoma County. 200,000. This is a forced relocation under the guise of evacuations. There were a number of stores that remained open during the evacuations that were well beyond where the flames and fires were at the time. They were bullied and ridiculed in the newspaper here and individually named, stating that the sheriff and the county appreciated their humanitarian efforts to provide food for those people that stayed. They did not want the people to have food. They wanted us, to leave. So what we have here is a takedown, and this is not just in Sonoma County. This is everywhere. So again, the resolution follows as this. Whereas climate change is a real and increasingly urgent threat that demands action at every level of government, and whereas actions taken by local governments to reduce greenhouse gas emissions provide multiple benefits for providing energy and cost savings, air quality, and public health improvements, local job creation, resource conservation. You bet there's going to be resource conservation, and I'm adding
they want
this.
to put it to a pre-industrial age, and they'll kill most of the planetary population.
Yes.
These
and
people are
resolution.
clinically ill, evil, and demonically possessed.
Yes, and people need to know this is a resolution, and your cities have adopted this as well. Climate resilience and an enhanced equality. I'm going to continue to read. Whereas the state of California has adopted policy targets to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 40% from 1990 levels by 2030. And 80% reductions from 1990 levels by 2050. That's not possible. So we go on that whereas the county participates in a coordinated county-wide collaboration to address climate change via the County Regional Climate Protection Authority, and they depend upon the participation and collaboration with all local jurisdictions. And
well, let me summarize. We're going to continue after the break.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
Legacy Emergency Foods is the top recommendation from Dr. Bill Deagle for the lowest oxygen concentration, the largest entrees, the highest amount of protein, the most varied entrees as well, and the longest food storage life. Nothing like Legacy Emergency Foods, and if you place a regular monthly order, you get 20% off and free shipping. Do get Emergency Foods for your supply for preparation, and get it from Legacy Foods. Contact Dr. Bill Deagle for the link at NutriMedical.com. Go to the Shop My Products link and drop-down message at NutriMedical.com, and then place your orders for regular emergency food for yourself and your family. Nothing like emergency food if the power goes out and you can't go to grocery stores, or if there's an emergency or a national crisis. So NutriMedical.com, top recommendation, Legacy Foods. NutriMedical.com, go to the Shop My Products and drop-down menu, and stay well with NutriMedical every day of your life. Lumen photon therapy, infrared light, far and near infrared, is extremely important for pain control, stimulation of nitric oxide, improved perfusion, and stem cell activation and reduction of cytokines. Dr. Bill uses it for pain control, for regeneration techniques, for organ regeneration, and for stimulation of your stem cell activity. This amazing lumen photon therapy this year will probably have an additional device with frequency therapy during the on phase of the lights. To obtain a lumen photon machine, contact Dr. Bill at NutriMedical.com, 888-212-8871. He'll prescribe it with you providing nutraceuticals to help with your regeneration, healing, and pain control. Nothing like the lumen photon therapy for easy therapy for your eyes, your pain, your joints, regeneration of organs, detoxification of the body. Get a lumen photon machine from Dr. Bill Deagle, NutriMedical.com, 888-212-8871. Stay well with NutriMedical. The Sonic Life Machine is one of the most amazing therapies that Dr. Bill provides. It is the best sine wave exercise machine on the planet, doing whole body vibration, opening up the muscle to reduce insulin resistance, improve perfusion, release stem cell therapy throughout the body, and epigenetically stimulate the body to release DNA activated. The epigenetic therapy with the sine wave curve of frequencies given for atomic resonance, but Linus Pauling for minerals and amino acids stimulates the production of messenger RNA to correct structural protein enzyme deficiency for almost every illness. There's nothing like the sine wave therapy for improving body healing for exercise, but also the epigenetic treatments Dr. Bill can provide can help neutralize frequencies for disease states and illness. Get a Sonic Life machine through Dr. Bill Deagle at NutriMedical.com. Contact us at NutriMedical.com, 888-212-8871, or go to the website NutriMedical and give us a contact. Dr. Bill is available to help you get well with NutriMedical.
Need a powerful ally to fight daily bugs and serious pathogens? Allicin Med is the powerful universal pathogen killer's latest advance of German-sourced allicin, enzymatically stabilized to clear the body of bacteria, fungi, mycobacteria, and parasites. It penetrates body biofilms and is non-toxic to tissues. Pathogen resistance cannot develop for long-term body-optimized wellness. Clear stealth pathogens that promote autoimmune disease, cancer and vascular inflammation and plaque and promote healing of tissues. Now pathogen-free. With 200 milligrams more power than prior Alamed, you can't get a more powerful ally to fight daily bugs and serious pathogens. Give your body what it needs. Allicin Med. Order Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutridyne at 888-212-8871 or NutriMedical.com. That's 1-888-212-8871 or NutriMedical.com. And listen to the NutriMedical Report on the Genesis Radio Network with open lines every weekday. NutriMedical.com, bringing nutrition and medicine together.
And we're back with Deborah. And Deborah, by the way, on the break told me about a movie that I think you should watch. It was 2016. It's called The Fifth Wave. And if you actually open up you can purchase it as a Prime Video watch, or you can purchase it online. And it says a group of teen survivors fight to save the human race from extinction after 4 waves of alien attacks decimate the planet. We'll talk about that in other shows, but you're on the right track. Please continue, Deborah.
Well, yes, and it does show floods, which we know, massive tidal waves. It shows pandemics, flus, and more. And I would recommend everybody take a look at the fifth wave. So I'm talking about, prior to the break, the County of Sonoma, State of California, May 28, 2018, adopted resolution. And it says it was a 3-to-5 vote was required, and it was unanimously approved.
Right.
There were no one that was there was opposed to this. So let's continue on with what is being done to all of us, every single one of us. So the resolution says that the climate action requirements are going to depend on the participation and the collaboration with all local jurisdictions, and a commitment to pool resources towards common goals. And whereas the board has adopted the same greenhouse gas reduction targets as the state of California. So I'm going to pause right here and say, everybody listening, your city, your county, your state, the country of the United States all have greenhouse gas emission reduction targets. In fact, every nation worldwide. So it's
and by the way, we have the public government, which is just a shadow. The real government is the shadow government running everything from the intel agencies to the secret orders. And we have this public display of elected officials and religions, and it's all just a sham. Please continue.
Yes, and when you watch the 4-minute video newly posted that we have up on Stop the Crime, you will be stunned at what you will see me say to the County Board of Supervisors here in Northern California. So I will continue with this resolution. They are establishing 20 goals to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and 9 goals to prepare for local climate impacts. So here is what they're telling us. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the county agrees to work towards county-wide targets to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 40% below 1990 levels by 2030. I'm going to repeat that. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 40% below 1990 levels by 2030. We're talking 10 years. So be it further resolved that the county adopts the following goals to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and will pursue all local actions that support these goals.
Right.
Number 1, increase building energy efficiency. I'm going to describe this in a little more detail. What we will all face is the code enforcement requirements to retrofit all of our homes to smart wireless appliances.
Right.
Smart meters are mandatory because we're being told that is green and that is efficient.
I told them to try to put a smart meter on my house. I'm coming out armed and dangerous.
Well, let's continue here, Dr. Bill.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody is feeling rather overwhelmed with what they're hearing me say right now, and they need to feel overwhelmed. So required retrofitting, your homes will not be considered sustainable, and you will be a breach in code violations that are coming on board to require that you retrofit. And your requirements will be supported by loans, financing loans that have been created by Rockefeller and Rothschild. An example of the loan program is the PACE, P-A-C-E loan program. So I just mentioned only number 1 right now. Let's go into number 2, increase renewable energy use. So let's talk about that. We're being unplugged. The lights are being turned off. The power grid is being reconfigured for something entirely different. We're going to discuss that after I get through all these points, if I have time. What we're being told to increase renewable energy is we, as a Northern California area, are going to rely about 84% on the geothermal operation and creation of electricity. The remainder will be solar, along with wind, and they're talking about incorporating some wave energy. In other words, sequestering electricity from the ocean waves. Number 3, they're going to switch out equipment, all equipment, from fossil fuel to electricity. I hope you heard that loud and clear. Switch all equipment from fossil fuel to all electricity. I want you to think about that, because we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a moment.
Yeah.
Number 4, reduce travel demand through focused growth. I read this verbatim. I'm going to read it again. Number 4, reduce travel demand through focused growth. This is eliminating, and these are my words, and this is what is happening, and this is why we have the fires. They're eliminating the structures in what is identified as the WUI, Wildlands Urban Interface Network, and this is what is occurring now. Number 5, encourage a shift towards low-carbon transportation options. Number 6, increase vehicle and equipment fuel efficiency. Again, all electricity. And I will tell you, during these recent forced power shutdowns and the fires and evacuations, many people who had electric vehicles were not charged. They weren't able to take their electric vehicles and evacuate with their electric vehicles. Right. Number 7, encourage a shift towards low-carbon fuels in vehicles and equipment. Now, we've just talked about that up above on item 3, where they said reduce travel and switch all equipment to electricity. Then they say this, number 8, reduce idling. What we now know and what is being discussed in all of our city councils and in all of our cities is to eliminate all fast food delivery drive-ups. That is going to be eliminated because idling increases greenhouse gas emissions. No. Number 9, increase solid waste diversion. In other words, we're going to start being required to compost on our properties, whether you're in an apartment or not. We will need to start composting. Number 10, increase capture the use of methane from landfills. Number 11, reduce water consumption. Now, I've been talking about...
the water consumption law, that, by the way, they already passed this, haven't they, in California, called California. Please continue.
Yes, but in 2020, we are all going to be required to individually only use a maximum of 55 gallons of water per day per person.
That's not mathematically possible. Not possible.
Yes, it is impossible. And that eliminates any outdoor watering. So outdoor vegetable gardens and the like will not be able to be watered.
Unless you have your own well and you don't have...
I'm sorry.
And you also you have to have a well, by the way, that doesn't have a smart meter on it, because they want to meter all the water wells, even if you have a private well, right?
Absolutely. Number 12, increase recycled water and gray water use. We're talking about the use of building more wastewater treatment plants to recycle the human waste, our fecal, urine, and pharmaceuticals. And
industrial waste. And industrial. Right?
Yes.
And not properly filter it, so it literally detoxifies us with industrial waste to retoxify the human body, and our inability to detoxify speeds our quick demise with health issues and death.
Well, when you figure all of the pollutants and pharmaceuticals that people ingest, and they have contaminants of emerging concern as identified by the wastewater treatment plants, This is also an executive order by Trump, by the way. So for those of you that still believe we have a voting system and that Trump and whomever is elected as president is going to transition us out of this kill grid, sadly, you are mistaken. So now I'm talking about item number 13.
Right.
Increase water and wastewater infrastructure efficiency. Item 14, increase use of renewable energy in water and wastewater systems. 15, reduce emissions from livestock operations. That means eliminate livestock operations. Those are my words. And we know recently that Trump created an executive order for bioagriculture, which is fast-tracking GMOs, genetically modified food supplies, because the farming practices of the past are considered unsustainable and using too much water, and sadly our fields have been too poisoned, not only from all the aerosols overhead, but from the forced fertilizers that the farmers have had to use in order to be able to comply to certain benefits when they're not able to market their goods.
Right.
Then they go on. Number 16, reduce emissions from fertilizer use. 17, protect and enhance the value of open and working lands. This is the Wildlands Network. This is the Wildlands map that we've talked about many, many times over the years. This is reorganizing the planned settlements in the United States and worldwide. This is a worldwide network of directing populations into confinement, into areas that are only allowed at very limited use, actually.
Yeah, micro apartments and hyper-compressed super cities. In fact, they met almost 40 times with Barack Obama, and their intention was to build these super cities that would have no more than 12 million people in the super city. And they planned on having, I think, 5 or 6 of these in the central United States with no rural and no coastal population at all by 2025. That's what they've said.
And that is true, Dr. Bill. And on top of that, those cities must be completely and independently self-sustainable.
Right.
They must
and
grow
recyclable.
all their own food. They must handle all of their wastes. And, you know, when I look at these super cities as detailed and as illustrated in the renderings, there are no cemeteries. In other words,
they're going to recycle everybody. They'll become Soylent Green, in other words.
Absolutely. They go on to say, promote sustainable agriculture. Well, that is now being promoted by executive order. This is genetically modified and engineered food sources. That's what is behind this, and that is what is happening. Number 19, increase carbon sequestration. Well, they're killing the trees. They're wanting us to plant the trees while they kill them. We are that stupid that we are really literally planting trees as they are killing them overhead.
Right, and killing them with toxic fire accelerants like aluminum, thorium, barium, and strontium. And, of course, using directed energy weapons from space and local drones actually start fires. Plus, they're doing weather modification by moving storm cells so they actually dehydrate the air and create a disaster zone so that the areas, the regular recycled water from the troposphere is gone. This is all by design, by the way. They're actually terraforming Earth for an extinction-level event.
Well, I'm not quite ready yet to go there. I want to finish with this because I think everybody needs to know the process of the end game. So, number 20, reduce emissions from the consumption of goods and services. I'm going to read that again. Number 20, verbatim. Reduce emissions from the consumption of goods and services. And be it further resolved that the county will continue to work to increase the health and resilience of social, natural, and built resources to withstand the impacts of climate change. And when we get to the other side of the break, you will continue to be stunned.
You're doing what's called shockucation. No more education. You're going to shock them. Paddles on either temple. How's that?
Are you still looking for that one iodine that you can really trust? A medical doctor-endorsed product that is backed by honest research and true integrative science? Then search no further. Go to NutriMedical.com for Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutriodine, proven time and time again to be the very best iodine available for you. Nutriodine is the only Tesla-activated monatomic plasma iodine in the world. It optimizes mitochondrial function and generation of new mitochondria, from totally neutralizing the venom from a desert recluse spider bite in Southern California to eliminating malaria parasites reported by medical missionaries in Central India. Dr. Bill's Nutriodine is simply the most powerful healing formula there is. Nutriodine clears the body of all known pathogens, restores it to an alkaline state, and even promotes stem cell regeneration. Order Dr. Bill's Nutriodine today at 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com.
Red Deer Velvet DR is an amazing new product with a patent to preserve 300 biomolecules and 6 hormones, same as fetal life, where you don't age at all. The state of fetal life allows the 300 biomolecules and 6 hormones produced by the placenta to be supportive of the regeneration of tissues and organs, with maximum apoptosis, changing the tissue and organ structure of a fetus. That's why if fetal surgery is performed, there is no scar. Taking 2 to 3 capsules twice a day with oncomycin, myco-D2, provides an amazing support for regeneration of any tissue and organ in the body, and even advanced stem cell therapy support treatment. Do get NutriMedical's Red Deer Velvet DR from Dr. Bill Deagle at NutriMedical.com, NutriMedical.com, 888-212-8871. Stay well and stay young with NutriMedical. Hi, I'm Dr. Bill Deagle, MD, AAEM, ACAM, A4M, of NutriMedical.com, and a consultant providing email advice free on advanced protocols for your optimized wellness and advanced technologies to heal and regenerate you. You can contact us at NutriMedical.com, that's NutriMedical.com, or 888-212-8871. You get free email starter protocols of our top medical-grade nutraceuticals, initial testing, and recommendations for your own primary doctor to do, as well as recommendations to give you an idea of a consultation and a full protocol to try to help you regenerate your tissues, heal naturally without the use of toxic polypharmacy. I can send test kits to you as well anywhere in the world and provide you recommendations to referral of specialty clinics worldwide. So contact me, Dr. Bill Deagle, at NutriMedical.com. That's NutriMedical.com, or 888-212-8871. At NutriMedical.com, we have the most amazing drinks with the best mouthfeel, highest quality bionutrient exposure to your body to heal and regenerate, and the most powerful persistence of nutrients to heal your body dramatically. We have Ageless, which makes you age less, which repairs your DNA, extends your telomeres, etc. We have Life Support that detoxes phase 2 detox pathways, glucuronidation, sulfation, and methylation pathway support. We have Glycemics that blocks the carbohydrate absorption and helps with diabetes or weight loss, and as well helps with people that are trying to build up muscle, using things like our special formulas from Dr. Wolf called Mega Muscles between meals along with Sports Energy Light. We have the amazing Nutri-Complete, the most complete red and greens drink in the world, with the best mouthfeel and flavor. You can often mix it too with Vitamin Mineral Mix, which is our fruit-flavored mixed power of vitamin minerals. Stay well with NutriMedical every day.
I remember when I lost my mind.
And welcome back. And please continue, Deborah. You have a lot of important things to say here, and I think honestly we're in the middle of the catastrophe. This is not like a future event, it's now, isn't it?
Well, it is, and I can certainly attest to that because I've been living in the dark without power. I've been in the midst of smoke and fire, and I have been watching people out of fear by a couple 100,000 evacuate, load their cars with their most prized possessions, and flee, thinking that perhaps this Sonoma County would burn all the way to the ocean.
Yeah.
That's what we were being told, that
Right.
it could burn all the way to the ocean.
Well, they're not doing anything to remediate
I'm
or reduce the
continuing-
burn, are they? Nothing.
Well, this is a directed energy weapon burn event.
Right, but on the other side, they're not even putting burn lines or getting the roots of trees or stopping the treetops or getting rid of embers or anything. All those typical things you do even for fire prevention, they're not doing it. They're basically
well,
setting up...
I want to continue
please
with
continue.
why they're not doing it and why we're going to continue to burn, why we're going to flood all over the country, why we're going to be hit with tornadoes, which are directed energy weapons, the failure to repair the levees, the failure to repair the bridges. This is all intentional. The failure to repair the dams, because all of this is being used as weapons now. The infrastructure has been allowed to crumble. So now I'm going to continue on with this county Board of Supervisors' adoption of the climate action policies. I just completed going over 20 goals to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and now I'm going to go over 9 goals to prepare for local climate impacts. And here are the 9 goals. They go on to say, be it further resolved that the county has the goal of increasing resilience by pursuing local actions that support the following goals. Now, before I go on into these 9 goals, I want to say this. After we were hit with the diabolical and crushing directed energy weapons of 2017, and then the crushing directed energy weapons of 2018 in Paradise and beyond, they learned important lessons. They dustified these burn areas, and it was obvious to more people that these were directed energy weapons. Well, they learned some lessons during that overzealous targeting. They've now created wind events, gusty wind events. So as they burn through our cities by the creating of the wind, the debris looks more normal. It's not dustified. We're seeing walls that are half burned down and fallen over. We're seeing some toilets and some bathtubs still visibly something that was there before, unlike before when everything was dustified. Again, like all of their documents, they put things in front of us, they do things to us, and then they listen to the feedback, and then they reinvent and redesign the attacks upon us. And that is what has now happened. These are now what I call squall wind events by the use of technology to create a more natural-looking outcome.
Yeah, so they're trying to actually engineer it so it looks like it's a natural event, but it's not natural at all. Please continue.
Exactly. So I'm going to go over these 9 supportive goals. Number 1, promote healthy, safe communities. Number 2, protect water resources. I'm going to add this. They're going to reduce water resources under the guise of saying they're protecting it, because they're telling us we are running out, and they now must equally distribute water. That is how the protection is.
It's a lie, part of the liocracy. Please continue.
Okay, so number 3, promote as sustainable a climate-resilient economy. Now, I want to describe to all of you
climate-resilient economy?
What it looks like to be in a war zone and have the shreds of a broken-down economy here in Northern California after the fires of 2017, then the floods of 2019 in February, and now the Kincaid fire and the power outages that have crippled businesses and further burned us down and further increased the smoke that we're all breathing and ultimately going to have massive health impacts over. So let's talk about promoting sustainable climate resilient economy. This is really a created verbiage that is a lie, because what happened after the 2017 fires is our county hired Ernst & Young. They're called EY, Ernst & Young out of London. That's a Rothschild accounting firm to create new sources of revenue. Now, Dr. Bill, you and I did a number of shows on this. Those shows are up on stopthecrime.org. civilizedpersons.net. I'm not going to go over that now. I'm going to talk about item number 4. Mainstream the use of climate projections. In other words, force the climate projections mainstream everywhere over your threshold.
And don't let anybody disagree or they're considered a conspiracy theorist. Please continue.
Number 5, listen to this one. Number 5, manage natural buffer zones around community resources. This is the Wildlands Network, folks. This is the consolidation of all that still managed to survive to be collected into human settlement zones where we will be further abused by massive increases of frequencies in our environment.
Right.
In fact, the most recent one of the second YouTube right now up on StopTheCrime.net that is out of London that we just posted shows what happens with the sky-rise construction of when smart meters and 5G cause fires. You will be amazed. It's been a big cover-up. This is not, sadly, an old story, but what is new about this burn of this sky-rise apartment building in the UK is that it's been a cover-up until now. There were 75 people killed. We are being pushed into these smart apartments, and during the outages, people could not get in. They were locked out. During these outages, as I said earlier in the show, we lost a good portion of our cell phone connectivity. They've also been eliminating our landlines, one city at a time, so we cannot communicate. So I want to continue.
Including, by the way, the ham radio operators. Please continue.
Number 6, promote agricultural preparedness and food security. Now, this is an executive order. We are being positioned into a drone delivery service or a delivery service where our restaurants will become literally kitchens, and we won't be going to them anymore. Our food will be delivered to our homes, and it will be prepared in kitchens, and it will be genetically modified. Fake meat, genetically modified everything. Number 7, protect infrastructure. So they say because of climate change, we have to protect the infrastructure. So let me tell you what that means.
Well, they're destroying it with the smart grid. The smart grid starts fires, and Saskatchewan's against the law. Please continue.
Well, protecting infrastructure means to retrofit everything. To harden up your infrastructure. Put on your cool roofs, which, by the way, reflect the sun, and the coatings on the sidewalks that reflect the sun that they're doing now in Los Angeles, it reflects the heat. And so whoever is walking on these coated, cool sidewalks are absorbing the heat and literally getting heat exposure and heat stroke. Now you know what that is all about.
Right.
Now, number 8, increase emergency preparedness and prevention. So let me talk to you about what increased emergency preparedness and prevention looks like here in Sonoma County with the fires and the blackouts. Have a backpack ready and run for your life. Immediately evacuate. And preparedness means to find a place where you can run to. And prevention means leave in advance. In other words, do not harden up your home. Do not stay and try to prevent the destruction of your life's belongings. Just run. Now I will tell you, the exodus from Sonoma County during this outage and Kincaid fire down the main freeway, the 101, was backed up for hours as people were fleeing into San Francisco and into the Bay Area, where they were being raped and pillaged by many reports of hotels that were price gouging.
Right.
Many people, because they did not have the resources, were sleeping in their cars, and the temperatures were called code blue. The temperatures were near zero. They needed those low temperatures to collide with the higher 70-degree temperatures of the daytime to create the wind, to create the fires, so that they could look like real fires rather than the directed energy weapons that have now been used. Now, number nine. Number 9, monitor climate change and its effects. Be it further resolved that the county will support these goals through its own actions and through collaboration with other local governments through the efforts of the Regional Climate Protection Authority. And be it further resolved that the county intends to implement its local measures of the Climate Action Plan 2020 and beyond planning project.
And by the way, this is converging with the national ID, which is October 1st of next year, put in by George Bush Jr. along with Presidential Directive 51. And every country on earth has to have a world ID now as of next October, 11 months from now. Please continue.
Well, I want to talk about what we're facing, too.
Right.
We're facing the discussion of microgrids, and that is death. Microgrids are really the sequestration of all of us into tightly controlled islands of energy usage. We're talking about whatever renewable or electricity sources are allowed. We're going to be delivered in bite-sized pieces by containment in these island modes called microgrids. And people are going to beg for the microgrids because of the outages that everybody throughout the entire country are going to face. And they are walking into a death trap. There are 3 types of microgrids, and we're watching them happen now. We're hearing that campuses and schools in our community and many cities now are creating remote off-grid microgrids where we're seeing solar farms going up that they claim will serve the energy needs, a certain percentage of the energy needs for that immediate area.
Right.
I can tell you that the solar grids and the lithium-ion batteries combined are weapons. It's a combined weapons system. The batteries are lithium-ion. They explode. They're connected by Wi-Fi to the Internet of Things, to the grid. So you're not off-grid. There is not a microgrid. You are controlled. And then you will be silenced, one small microgrid at a time.
Wow.
Because there will be competing sources for scarce supplies, as we are being told we're running out of everything.
Wow.
And renewables can't meet current or future needs. And renewables is the food supply. When we are cordoned into these microgrids and water is reduced and we have a limited use per person per day, we're not growing any food. These are death camps. That's exactly.
Welcome, Soylent Green, which is the end game. It's not just a minor thing. We're going to discuss this in other shows, but thank you, Deborah. Amazing discussion today. Coming up, Andrew Shatkin, geopolitical analyst and Christian. We're going to talk to Andrew. Coming up tomorrow, we've got John Moore back from Special Forces from Republic Radio, and John W. Spring. You don't want to miss it. And Jonathan Gray on Wednesday.
Which was most appropriate because that was your